Okay, this is a quick video to show you how to change a processor card in an EPI2 06 or 013 actuator. This is the small frame actuator. This is what the processor card looks like. This is the position sensor. Once we put these two together, we're going to have to set the limits, and we have a separate video for that. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is remove the position indicator. The position indicator snaps into the top of the sensor. We have two little fingers that mate like this. When we put this back together, we need to make sure that it's indicating properly on the actuator. We have 4 screws that hold the processor card down to the standoffs from the power card. Take care not to drop them. If you drop them and they wander around the actuator, they're probably going to short something out. I have the power off to the actuator. It's the safe way to proceed. You cannot hot swap a processor card, so you need to remove power from the actuator. Now we're going to work our way around the outside of the board and remove all the cables. This cable is the 4-wire cable for the OM3 push button station. We have a black cable just simply tucked underneath. Come around to the front. We've got a 4-wire connector that's for the monitor relay. 8-wire connector, and these are really tight. There's a lot of stuff going on inside here. I'm going to get that one after we get the others off, and I'll show you how. 3-wire connector that goes to the open and close. The front connector here has 2 red and 2 black wires. That's from the power card up to the processor card. When we put these back together, we don't want to mix them up. It's the same connector. The back connector is the motor. We have one more device to remove. These are 6mm. If you have a pair of pliers, that's fine too. When we take that one screw out, the board's going to pop up. These black wires tend to push on it here. And we have the position sensor cable plugged underneath. So this is where the position sensor is going to plug right in here to this white socket when we're done, noting that it's keyed. It only goes on one way. Now we have our 8-wire connector. We can get to it a little bit better. Try not to pull on the wires. Try to pull on the plug rather. Now we need to get the position sensor out. There are 3 fasteners for the position sensor, but there's also RTV rubber that we're going to have to separate from the board. Sometimes these screws are steel, sometimes they're stainless steel. These are steel, so they're magnetic, which is nice. Okay. The position sensor has a rod that comes up from the drive sleeve. It fits into the bottom of the sensor itself in a particular orientation. We need to match up the sensor and the orientation of the rod when we put it back together. And this sensor is a little tight, so I'm going to go down here and just try to part some of this silicone compound from the sensor gently and see if we can get it to pick up. And this one has more silicone than anyone I've ever seen. We need to be patient and be careful. And we have, in the front, we also have our TV silicone that we're going to have to scrape off of the sensor itself to get it out of there. Typically this will just come out really easy, but this one has a lot of RTV on it. So, new sensor with the screws in it. Make sure that it has the same orientation. So right now we're fully clockwise. I'm going to go fully clockwise here, back it up just a little bit. Take the sensor, drop it down into position. And we're going to re-secure the 4 screws. 2 fingers to make it tight. And I always want to check the other 2 screws, make sure everything is nice and secure. Okay. And reassembly. So reassembly, it's best to find your position sensor cable and plug it in first. And we have a wide tab and a narrow tab, a wide space and a narrow space, and it goes in here like that. And we're going to take it, set it down into position on the standoffs. I'm going to push this black cable down a little bit, making sure that encoder cable is clear. And my new card, I'm going to take the old standoff, mount the standoff in place. Our screws back in. I'm going to go to the back corner. I'm going to just get all the screws started here first. Into my standoffs. I'm going to reconnect this cable because it's easy to do. I'm going to come back around this back side. Motor cable, multicolored, goes here. Notice they're going to have a different color stripe. And power from the power card to the processor goes in the front. Here. Yeah. 2-wire is for a bus card that we're not using on this unit, so I'm going to tuck it underneath here out of the way. I have a 2-wire black that would be used for the analog card, not used on this. If it's not used, I'm going to tuck it underneath here. And I have a 3-wire cable that's open and close and common connectors. I try to tuck it back a little bit so when we put the cover down we don't dislodge it. And then this is the indicating relays for open and close. Going to install those. Black 4-wire connector, monitor relay and blinker relay. Go here. This 8-wire goes to the OM1. If I had an OM1, it would still be attached, as would this and would as would the 2-wire. We're going to tuck these underneath the board because we don't need them. Gently. Okay. And we're going to put the push button station interface card in here. You're going to put a screw in to hold it into place. This is the only screw that has a lock washer. And a 4-wire connector. Nope. Contacts face out. This is the more difficult of the actuators to work on because, as you can see, it is fairly small in size. Okay, 2-wire tuck. Tuck our black. A little bit of room for the cover to go on. Okay. My position sensor is down in the hole. I need to drop my indicator down there. I need to make sure that these fingers here land in the position sensor correctly. So our actuator is closed. If we had a hand wheel, we would run it closed. Then we know the indicator would go in this position. It's best to get a flashlight. Try to shine the light down in the hole so you can see what you're doing. Make sure that the fingers line up correctly. And snap in place. So now we've done that, all we need to do is set the open limits, the close limit, and we're good.